Hi, my name's Turan, welcome to Cold Smoking. We're now on part 5 of taking a salmon apart, and this is really the latter stages because what we're doing is we're looking at the skeleton and we're going to try and harvest some of the meat that's left on here. I mean, there isn't a great deal of meat on here, but really we don't want to be wasting anything. So we'll try and use as much as possible. And what we don't use can be used to make fish stocks. So really nothing will get wasted. And we're going to start taking some of this salmon off here. The easiest way to do that, if you want to come in a bit closer, I feel like I'll Keith Floyd doing this. So we'll just use a spoon, and as you can see, if you hold the tail nice and firmly, you can just use the spoon to literally scrape all that salmon away. And we can use this for making salmon mousse. And we'll just pop that straight into a vac bag and we'll get that in the freezer. I've got another couple of salmon to do after this, so I should have enough to make a wonderful, wonderful salmon mousse. And this is just the kind of material you want for salmon mousse. Especially if you're preparing a few salmon. Take the blood of that. I don't mind taking the fish, but we'll ditch the blood. Don't really need that. Another thing you want to remember also when working with salmon is to try and be as clean as you can. So always wear an apron, always wash your hands, always keep the surfaces you're working on nice and clean. It's one of those fish that you don't want to get any contamination. You really like to keep it as clean and as fresh as possible. We like to work quite quickly with salmon because we don't like to keep it out of the fridge for very long. The longer you keep fish out of the fridge, the more chance you have of spoilage, and we don't want that. And you can see this amount of meat we're actually getting off essentially the carcass there. We've got probably about 150 grams of salmon there. That's a good salmon mousse. And you can see there's not a lot left on that. You've just got some membrane, some fat and some skeleton, and all we do is we just break that. This can be now used for making a fish stock. Great for soup bases. Fish soup is fantastic this time of year, just as it's getting cooler. Okay, we'll go on to the bellies and we'll try and take as much off here as possible. We're going to get less off here. It's kind of harder to get off, but you're working against the rib bones, so you should be able to get as much off as you can. You don't want to take the ribs with you, that's the whole point really. So you'll get less off these. There's also more fat on here as well, so we don't really want to take too much of that, but we'll try and get as much as possible.